Hey everybody, this is Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. So we are now watching for the possibility that we're going to see this Falcon 9 launch off the east coast of the United States. So what you're looking at off to the left here is I actually got 4 cameras facing east. We're going to see if we see this vapor trail. And what you see right above my head is actually a simulation. This is a real-time simulation of what the rocket is doing right now from a great website that I use all the time called flightclub.io. So you're looking about a minute 30 after launch here, and you'll see on the right it'll show you how the fuel in the different stages is going down. But eventually this is going to be going off the east coast here, and if things work out correctly, you see how well lit the skies are off to the east. That vapor trail that's created by this rocket could eventually be illuminated by that same setting sun. So this is kind of an interesting setup, but the clouds are a little worrisome for me. I'm not too gung-ho that the clouds are going to allow a lot of us to see it. I'm looking up at our cameras now, just trying to get a good idea on where we're going to see that. But you see the breaks in the clouds. That might be enough for us to see this vapor trail. Now, typically, I'd love for this to be about 15 or 20 minutes after sunset with brilliant clear skies. But the fact that we have somewhat clear skies is enough that some of us could see it. So if you are going to see this, if you're out and about and maybe you're watching on your phone right now and you're looking to the east, you want to look to the east southeast right now. The potential that we could see this show up in the skies of the Carolinas. If you see it, please hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at WXBrad. Hopefully some of you will get a shot of this. I think folks on the coast are going to have a much better shot at this. So there you go. We just saw the separation of the booster here. I'm looking up at the cameras. I'm not seeing anything right offhand. It still looks pretty low. So that is the booster, which is actually going to settle back to Earth, believe it or not. I'm going to widen this out so you can see where this is in relation to us. So this is all happening off the East Coast right now. So the rocket just separated from its booster. The rocket is still off the East Coast of Florida. But what's interesting, if you look, that booster is actually going to land on a drone ship off the east coast of Florida, kind of the southeast coast. So it's still making a pretty vivid vapor trail that could become visible here. I'm looking at the cameras. I'm not seeing anything right now. The thing that concerns me the most about our camera views here in Charlotte is that we've got a lot of low clouds that those close to the horizon where we'd likely be seeing the show up. And unfortunately in our view right now, but as it gets higher and higher in the sky, it might become visible. Here's the other thing to watch for. Even long after this is in orbit, that vapor trail or that cloud is going to be hanging out in the upper atmosphere for a while. So as we get later into the evening and maybe the skies begin to clear more and the sun gets lower and lower and the sky gets darker, you might see the vapor trail cloud show up well after sunset. I've seen some pre-sunrise sun launches like this where the vivid vapor trail cloud has showed up an hour, 2 hours after the launch. So again, this is the SpaceX Falcon 9. It's taken a Dragon capsule up to the International Space Station, which it'll dock with on Saturday. It's taking a whole bunch of experiments, including a pretty significant climate experiment up to the International Space Station. So if you look at the map there, just up in this upper corner right here, the other corner, there we go, opposite. You could see that the drone ship is off the East Coast in that red area. That's kind of the landing spot, the drone ship. And you could see that the boosters actually back down to Earth, but the capsule itself is actually still ascending. Let's zoom in, and you can see there's the landing spot for the booster. It's last on a drone ship. And then you can see the actual capsule going off the East Coast. And you can see it's darker. It goes further north and east. It's getting into darker part of the sky because the sun set here in Charlotte at least around 8:30, 8 p.m. Areas south and east, the sun went down much earlier. So it is a dark sky. Looking up at the cameras, I don't see anything right now. I might have to move the cameras here in a minute. No, the clouds are just not allowing for a great view right now. And then from Scott just chimed in. He says, super cloudy, Wellington. Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. There's been a lot of cloud cover in many areas of the southeast, and that was kind of the concern. But if you break, remember, there's some layered clouds out there. If one of those break with the launch trajectory, you might briefly see it. And as it gets higher and higher in the sky, and the sun goes lower and lower below the horizon, it might hope right now. Maybe just keep your eyes to the sky till night. Maybe go inside for a little bit, then go back out later. So it looks like the booster is actually coming back down right now. It's getting close to landing. I'm actually torn between. I'm looking at the live feed and the simulation. It's been about 5 minutes since launch, and again, if you're seeing this, probably a little delay on your stream. Yeah, the booster's coming back down. They just fired the rockets to slow it down a little bit, so it's getting close. This view right here you see is the simulation. It's actually a real-time simulation, so it's basically taking where the rocket and the booster is right now. So the booster is firing its last burst to try to land on the drone ship, and it's coming down. It's about 40 feet off the ground. It's coming down. So you should see that happen pretty quickly here. And right now it should be pretty close to landing. So that's the booster that's reusable. But the capsule you could see is up here higher up. Let me widen this shot out a little bit. You can see it's right up here going up the East Coast. So I'm looking up at the cameras. No views here from our shots. I don't know if any of you guys out there have seen anything. I'm looking at my Twitter feed. I don't see anybody. Someone said they missed it. Well, it's still going on, so you didn't miss it. it's still going up. So the vapor cloud, again, the vapor trail is still up there, even if you can't see it right now. And if the skies thin out or clear out here later, there's a chance you might see it. I'm actually going to tilt one of our cameras here a little bit back towards the northeast. So let's see if I can get this to move. Okay, I'm going to move it. I'm going to angle it back towards Charlotte. Yeah, I don't really see much there. We'll go back the other direction here. Not seeing. I've got 3 cameras aimed basically due east. I just see a lot of clouds, unfortunately. I can see the Catawba nuclear station, puffy cloud there. So I know I'm looking southeast. I see Spencer Mountain there, and then the skyline of Charlotte is kind of in the middle there. But that's a lot of thick clouds. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just not looking good. The clouds actually look like they might have thickened up here in the last hour or so. So if you're out and you see something, please send me a tweet. If you grab a quick image, I'd love to see it. As we look at the trajectory, do have landing. Let me see. I'm looking at time. Yeah, so the booster has already landed back on the drone ship. It has made a successful landing on the drone ship off the coast. We're 8 minutes into the launch. We still got the burn going for the capsule. It's still ascending. It's now entered space. Its velocity is kind of looks like it's slowed down. Let me look. Whoops, that was weird. I've lost my trajectory. Let me see if I can get it. There we go. So that's a look at where the capsule is off the East Coast right now. So this is actually traveling now east of Long Island, east of Cape Cod, Massachusetts area, still ascending. Now the vapor cloud is still out there. I don't see it showing up on any of our cameras. So unless somebody out there has got a great view of it, someone just said they saw it from North Myrtle briefly. Yep, I just briefly saw a red dot over the horizon. I was wondering what it was since it was so cloudy out. So someone did see it on North Myrtle Beach. I think those are going to be the people that had the best views because it's much darker towards the coast, and they got a view over the horizon because you got basically flat water to look out over. But again, here's the thing I would remember: maybe later tonight, maybe in an hour or two, when you go walk the dog, maybe or head out, take the trash out or the recycling bin. Take a glance in the eastern sky because even after the sun goes down here, we might see that vapor cloud illuminated in the next hour or so. But it looks like the clouds just too thick here. I'm looking at our cameras. If anything, the clouds got thicker right before the launch here. And so there's just no view here looking off to these. I'm looking over the airport right now as I stare up at our cameras. So what you're looking at with the cameras, the lower left is the Monroe is looking east, 2 cameras on the government center. The other camera, the Dallas camera is actually mounted up on our transmitter up at around 1,500 feet in Gaston County. So it's really high up and it's looking east. And you see that little puff, looks like smoke. That's actually cloud from the cooling towers from the Catawba nuclear station down there. And then down to the lower right is up in Kannapolis, and that's at the Atrium Health ballpark there, looking off to the east. So those are where the areas we're looking. So no vapor clouds showing up because of the cloud cover, which is kind of a bummer because it could have looked pretty spectacular. Yeah, Angela, it did launch already. It's actually now off the east over eastern Canada. The booster's already fallen back down, or fallen back down, has landed, I should say. It was a controlled descent back to the drone ship. And now the capsule, the Dragon 2 capsule, is heading up to the International Space Station. It's scheduled to dock with the station, I think, early Saturday morning. So it's going to basically, the orbit that it's, or the path, the trajectory it's taking now is right with the orb of the space station. So, depending what part of the country it is, you might see both the capsule and the space station lining up as they kind of, one chases the other and ends up docking, which is pretty cool. If you ever see a space station fly over where the capsule is approaching the station, you actually see two moving objects in the night sky. So again, this was the Falcon 9 launch. Unfortunately, cloud cover gave us kind of a crummy view here in the Charlotte area. I know some folks on the coast, just looking at some of my Twitter feed, did see it out there. Somebody just sent me video from Wake. So let's see. I'm going to play it real quickly. Oh, they did catch it. Okay. Ah, they got lucky. Bummer. So I'm going to retweet this. This was my buddy Brandon. He's actually a weather spotter, great guy. He saw it up in Wake County, which is, near Raleigh. It looks good. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, check out WX Brad. I might share my screen. Let me see if I can pop it up. I will change my screen share here quickly and try to share. So let me change my screen share real quickly, guys. What I'm going to do. Thanks. Got my crack team in there. We're going to share my Twitter deck here. Okay, so let's share this. All right. And if you guys can see that, well, I'll give it a second to populate. So this is a view from Wake, and I'll play this. This was sent to me via Twitter. I'm going to actually make this large, so hopefully you can see, and I'll play it. And if you look in the middle of your screen, you see it looks like a comet. There it is. He's going to zoom in on it. There it was. So somebody got a great view of it. There it is. That's spectacular. That's what I was hoping we would see here in the Charlotte area. Unfortunately, we had thick clouds. But look at that. Isn't that cool? Look, there's that little break. He got lucky. He got a break between the clouds. But that's what I was hoping we would see here in the Charlotte area, unfortunately. Someone just said they're seeing the vapor cloud in Lexington, North Carolina. So that's good. So some people are seeing it. Unfortunately, the Charlotte area, it's just not, we don't have the view here. So, but I'm glad that some folks in the Carolinas are seeing it. But I'll replay that one more time. So if you're just tuning in, this is from Brandon up in Wake County. There it is. Yeah, that's awesome. See, that's what you want to see. That's the difference between a sunset launch and a daytime launch, because you see how the sun is illuminating not only the capsule, but the vapor trail behind it. It makes it look like a comet going across the sky. So that is a spectacular view. Thanks, Brandon. That's awesome. That's what I was hoping we would see here in Charlotte. Thanks, Sharon, for telling me you're seeing it in Lexington, North Carolina. That does tell me there's hope that some folks have some breaks in the clouds. I'm looking at our cameras. There's just nothing. Unfortunately, we have thick clouds here. So yeah, keep sending those pictures in. That's great to see. If you do get a chance to check that out, send it to me via Twitter, WXBrad, or go to my Facebook page. Or if you have the WCNC News app, use the Near Me feature, which is a great tool that allows you to send pictures directly to us. I'm going to check my Twitter feed. Yeah. He's the only one that really sent me a good picture of it. So, man, bummer. A lot of people sending me great sunset pictures. That was the other thing. There's been some great sunset pictures tonight with that sun. Unfortunately, those beautiful clouds that make for the great sunset obscured our view of the launch. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I was hoping we were going to be able to show you that live kind of vapor trail in the sky. I always get super excited for these launches that are either right before sunrise, an hour, hour and a half or less, and then right after sunset. This one was only about 10, 15 minutes after sunset. But anytime that happens, you get the great combination of the sun illuminating the vapor trail in a darker looking sky. So at sunset, you've got the sun over the western horizon shooting up into the sky, illuminating the vapor trail. And in the morning, the sun is below the horizon shooting up and illuminating the vapor trail. So those are the best launches. So if you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know I talk about these launches all the time. When I get excited for these launches is when they're like this. So I will always post these updates and the trajectories. So if you're ever interested in checking these out again, I highly recommend the early morning ones. They're spectacular. It's tough getting up, but they're awesome. But these nighttime ones occasionally can be spectacular, like we saw in some parts of the Carolinas tonight. Again, hit my Twitter up, WXBrad on Twitter. If you see any pictures or images that you capture or know any friends or family that caught it, I'd love to see them. We'll show them tonight at 11. But we're going to wrap up our live stream now. I might go outside and take a view myself to see if we see something in the sky. Take care, everybody.